Hi guys, so today I'm going to give you an overview of studying BTEC National Sport at FRAM in sixth form. First of all, you've got three options. So your first option is to choose a single BTEC, which we call the National Extended Certificate. This is the equivalent to 1 A level, where you will cover 4 units across your 2 years. Obviously 2 units in year 12 and 2 units in year 13. And essentially you come out with the equivalent of 1 A level at the end of year 13. We've got a second option, which is a national diploma or a double BTEC sport. And then we've got a third option, which is your national extended diploma, which is your triple BTEC sport. Now, if you choose triple, you'll cover 14 units across the 2 years. So you'll do 7 in year 12 and you'll do 7 in year 13, covering a range of topics that we're going to have a look at. But essentially that will be all you have on your timetable. If you were to choose double or single, because they're smaller, you will have a little bit more room on a timetable to then choose another subject to go alongside double or 2 other subjects to go alongside single BTEC sport. You can see here there's a range of different units that we cover. If you choose to do the single, 3 of the units we have to do, they're mandatory. Unit 1, Anatomy and Physiology, Unit 2, which is fitness training, and then Unit 3, which is professional development. And then we'll have an option to choose what your 4th unit would be. As you can see though, we also do the diploma and the extended diploma. Unit 7 is the unit that we do as the 4th unit for single. It's an optional unit, but it's also mandatory for triple. So Unit 7 is the practical sports performance. So if you were to do the single sport, you would do Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 7. There's obviously more units that we cover at double, and then even more units again that we cover in triple. So as you can see, these are the units that we would do. So we've got Unit 1, which is Anatomy and Physiology. It's in bold, so you know it's an exam unit. It's also underlined, so you know that's the unit that you would do in year 12. So you would sit Unit 1 exam at the end of year 12 as you would a normal exam. Obviously you get a grade for that, and I'll explain what grades mean in a second. But as you can see, these are the range of different units that we cover. There's a range of different topics within that. So you can see if you were to do the triple BTEC or the extended diploma, you see that we cover everything from anatomy and physiology, professional development, leadership. You've got a practical unit in there. There's skill acquisition. There's business in sport. There's sports development, psychology, injuries, outdoor activities. There's a full range of different topics that we cover throughout year 12 and 13. If you choose triple. Obviously with double and single, you're going to get a few less units. But you know, the range of topics are still there for you to see. Within all of the units then, the ones in bold are the exam units. So Unit 1, 2, 19 and 22 are all exam units. And the ones underlined are the ones we normally do in year 12. The ones that are not in bold, they're all internally assessed units. And all that means is that they're pretty much coursework units. So your teacher will give you a grade based on the coursework that you produce in those lessons. Unit 1, 2, 19 and 22, externally assessed, they're exam units. Obviously your teacher doesn't have say in what you get in those units. It's down to you and how you perform in the exam. You can see as well that you're not limited to 1 or 2 teachers as you might be in A level. With BTEC Sport, you're pretty much going to get everybody in the department at some point, because we all have different areas of expertise with different units. So different teachers tend to teach the units that they're an expert in. So you're definitely going to get kind of expert teachers across different units within the 2 years. As you can see then, different units are worth different amounts in terms of points. What happens is you might get, so if let's use this example then, if you sit Unit 1 exam, externally exam, and you get a merit, that's worth 20 points. If you then sit Unit 19 exam and you get a distinction, that will be worth 32 points. You can see the internal units are all your coursework units. So you might get distinctions, merits, passes with your coursework units, all equate to different points. The total number of points you get at the end, that's what grade you'll come out with. So a D star DD, that's how many points you need to get in order to get that grade. Obviously, if you do double or triple, you'll have a different number of points which equate to D star, or again a different number of points that might equate to a D star or a merit in single. And you can essentially see exactly kind of where you are as you're going through the course based on how many points you've accumulated so far. So you might get to the end of year 12, you might realize that you've done 7 of your units, and you know you've got distinction in everything, so you can work out exactly how many points you're on at the moment and exactly what you need to do in year 13 in order to get your target grade. Most universities look for DDM as a minimum requirement, which is around about 128 UCAS points, which is the equivalent to AAC essentially. But I'll explain a little bit more about universities and minimum requirements in terms of UCAS points on another slide. In terms of entry requirements then, we look for 5 4 to 9s at GCSE, including English language or literature. Any student not achieving a grade 4 in maths will be required to resit the exam as well. So they're obviously sixth form requirements, not just BTEC sport requirements. Our BTEC sport main requirement is that you have at least a grade 5 in GCSE PE or a middle upper at OCR sport. And again, your teachers can give you a little bit more information on your target grade, predicted grades for your GCSE and OCR, and whether you'll be able to cope with the demands of having 4 exam units, for example, in triple BTEC sport. So that's why we have that minimum grade in there, to make sure that you can cope with demands of having so many units on the go at one time, and of course the 4 exam units as well. Students need to have a keen interest in at least one team sport and one individual sport. Again, we've got the practical exam unit, a practical coursework unit, which we cover, and you'll have to do some video evidence for your practicals. Again, that'll be in one team and one individual, so you must have, a fair understanding and ability in at least one team sport and one individual sport. Students are also needing to be willing to take advantage of a leadership program. We've got a pretty good leadership program under normal circumstances. We work pretty closely with the Durham Partnership. We will be delivering activities and festivals with Key Stage 3 students, so Key Stage 1 and 2 students as well, with local primary schools. You've probably seen that and been involved in that yourselves in the past. Leaders tend to come on trips that we do, reward trips, enrichment trips. Obviously, you guys were part of the Spain trip in Enrichment Week, and you will have seen that we've had sports leaders come with us in the past. We look for people who are willing to take advantage of a leadership program and get involved with extracurricular activities and get involved wherever possible. One final thing on this as well, don't forget that you shouldn't be put off by any blocks, by any option blocks. If something doesn't quite fit and you're thinking about double or single BTEC sport and linking that with another subject, if they don't quite fit, try and speak to Miss Merce Roberts. She'll try and arrange it so that they do fit, so that you can choose the subjects that you want to choose alongside each other. Subjects that most people choose alongside BTEC sport, or what BTEC sport works well with. Applied science is one. We've got a lot of students who do double BTEC sport alongside applied science or business. Sociology and psychology also work well alongside double or single BTEC sport. So if you are interested in any of them, you can still fit them on your timetable if you do double or single. Careers then. So a lot of our past students have gone on to study at top universities. Sports science is pretty popular, sports coaching, sports and exercise management, all popular degrees that ex-students go on and study. Again, you can study anything from, it can lead to teaching, your BTEC sport can lead to physiotherapy, sports journalism, anything that you're interested in that is linked with sport in some way, that might have a university degree attached to it, you can go on to study that. BTEC sport will allow you to earn enough UCAS points to go on to study pretty much anything that you're interested in at university. Job opportunities, well, we've had a lot of ex-students who get involved in coaching jobs, in different coaching roles, apprenticeships in coaching. We've had ex-students who've done apprenticeships in personal training and gym management, so that might be something that you're interested in as well. Again, we've had ex-students go into armed forces, police and fire services, so there's still a range of things that studying BTEC sport can actually lead to. In terms of UCAS points, most universities look for 128 UCAS points, which is the equivalent to DDM. So if you were to study the extended diploma or the triple, you would look to try and get DDM as a minimum grade. This would give you 128 UCAS points if you were interested in studying at university. For example, Northumbria University has a sport and exercise science course, which has a minimum target or a minimum grade of 128. So again, if you wanted to go to Northumbria Uni and study following your BTEC sport course, you would need to get DDM in order to do that. As I've said throughout, if you were to study the double or the single, these are the grades that you would get, and these are the UCAS points you would get for these grades, So if you were to do the double and get distinction, that would be worth 96 UCAS points, and your third subject, whichever subject you studied alongside your double sport, would obviously equate to UCAS points as well, so you could use that to top up and apply for different universities. As a rough guide, you can see here that a D star from a single is roughly worth the same, or is worth the same as an A star in any A levels, which is worth 56 points. Again, your D is worth, or your distinction in single is worth an A at A level. A merit in single is worth a C at A level, and a pass in single sport is worth an E at A level. So just as a scenario then, we've had an ex-student, Dean Hutchinson. He studied BTEC sport at Fram. He then left school, he got triple distinction star, he left school, he went to study sport at Northumbria University, and now he's a personal trainer and gym manager at Gym Unique in Durham. So he's just one example, one success story of an ex-student of the past. So he's an example of something that you could go on to do if that's what you're interested in. Obviously the BTEC sport route is a good option if you're interested in any career in sport. BTEC sport will certainly set you up just because of the range of topics and the range of units that you'll cover throughout the 2 years. Okay, if you've got any questions, ask your teachers. By all means, try and stop me in the corridor if you see me. If you don't have any questions yet, but you think of something later on in the year, that's absolutely fine. Just ask us whenever you need us. We are the experts. Obviously, we've been in your position before. We've seen students through. So as I say, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, good luck.